Hey everybody, it's Rob here. I'm at Gamescom in Cologne right now, so a little different format here, filming this on my phone. But I wanted to share with you a lot of updates and some exclusive interviews I had today and a lot of new stuff about the Vessel of Hatred. So in case you missed it, there is going to be a Campfire Chat next week, August 29th, and we'll also learn details how to access the public test room. I'm expecting this going to be for Season 6, and it's going to be very soon because we're also going to learn probably the date here in this campfire. I also had the chance to interview Tiffany and Raxi, and I got a couple of cool new information about the Mercenary, how it's gonna work in game, how it's gonna work in the end, how it's gonna like scale with your gear, what you can equip on the Mercenary, and end game difficulty scaling, and also the different stages for the Dark Citadel endgame. I'm going to show you the entire interview. I apologize a bit for the audio. It was very busy at the entire convention. I did the best I can, and there's going to be about 20 minutes of talks, and I want you to hear like word for word what the developers had to say. Amazing people, very cool interview. Let's go enjoy. And I wanted to start with some questions about the Mercenaries. Sure. I know we have like the Raport and we have the skill tree. And in other Diablo games, Mercenaries always used items. Is there any way for us to equip the Mercenaries, or is it going to be more focused on the Raport and on the skill tree?
It's focused on the skill tree this time, as well as just reinforcements, which I don't know if you're familiar with that system, but
yeah, I have a few questions for that.
Single player, you can obviously hire a mercenary to come along with you. You get their perk. Mm-hmm. So you mentioned Variana as your favorite. Oh, yeah. I really like Subo because he increases my resource, as well as just reduces my cooldowns, because I'm all about, I want to use my ultimate as frequently as possible. So yeah. I'm very, very excited about that. But you can also do reinforcements. So when you're playing by yourself, we kind of say you have 1.5 mercenaries with you. So you have one you hire, then you can bring in a reinforcement. And you can tie the reinforcement. You choose one of their skills. So you can tie that to one of your behaviors. So whether it's when I cast my ultimate, or when I take a lot of damage and I'm low health. So we think that actually helps. I'm excited to see what combinations people come up with and to kind of pad out their build, or maybe just support the weaker part of their build. But when we're in a party together, we all actually get reinforcements. So if we're playing in a party of 4 and we're entering the Dark Citadel, now we obviously want to talk about, well, which reinforcement are you picking to really synergize with the build.
So this could work, like I think you mentioned it in the stream as well, that the party leader can bring the full mercenary.
No.
So the party leader can use the reinforcement.
Okay.
When you're in the party, we don't let you like actually bring the mercs with you.
So it's only one player in a party, the party leader, that can have the reinforcement basically.
No, all players can have reinforcements, but you can only hire a full-on mercenary if you're playing by yourself.
Okay, I see. So it's not the party leader, all of them can bring the reinforcements. Yes. Yeah, I think that's a really cool way. One big gripe point that I always had in Diablo 3 and also in Diablo 2 to some extent is that you can't really control what the mercenary is doing so much. And I think with the reinforcement, it feels like that you really have like a say in what the mercenary is doing. I guess that was also the intent there, right? To give some control like back to the player, because sometimes the AI can be a bit frustrating. And
yeah, okay. It's exciting.
That's really cool. And then also, if the mercenary doesn't have any items, so how does it work with his damage? Like, what is it based on? Does it have like a flat base? Because in Diablo 4, like everything works with your weapon damage, right? So. And also, to extend that question, like, is there an intent for also make like a mercenary, like damage focused build maybe, or is it more like, you know, it supports you and your character?
I think they grow with you over time. So by adventuring with them, you earn rapport, which allows you to maximize their skill tree. But what we found in playtesting is that making them as powerful as the player didn't feel right. They were basically stealing all the players' kills. Oh, yeah. And nobody liked getting
well, some people like that. Like in Diablo 2 and Diablo 3, people would fully juice the mercenary. In Diablo 2, it would also help with like the immunity problem and stuff, but we don't have this in Diablo 4.
I tried that with Duriel, and it still didn't help me get past that boss fight.
Yeah, some people did this with the Construct as well in Season 3, where they tried to like, oh, my Construct can now kill Duriel by itself.
Yeah. But what we found to be the more exciting and engaging element was the buffs that they give to the player. And like for an example, Rahir has this valiancy buff that gives you shield and armor resistance type buffs. And for me, who always specs into damage almost exclusively, I die a lot.
DPS is the way.
Yeah, I die a lot, which means that I need sort of Rahir to come in and provide that extra shielding that I absolutely refuse to waste my skill points on in the skill tree.
Nice. Okay.
And how does it work? Like, do we get to hire them in Diablo 2 and Diablo 3? They cost like gold to hire. What happens when they die? Maybe you can talk a bit about that.
Yeah, so you can hire them at the Merc Den. It does not cost any gold.
Okay.
They're more than willing to go out and adventure with you.
Nice.
Without having to pay for it. What was the second part of the question?
When they die.
Oh, yeah.
First of all, like, can they die? Like in Diablo 3, we had like some items that make them basically completely immortal. Or...
They can. They will just take a knee in the field.
Okay.
And while they are incapacitated, their perk is not active. But you can run over to them just like you can with a player and resurrect them.
So they do have this like little grave icon or something you can click on, or?
I don't think they actually
They don't die.
They just like bend down,
Okay.
rest. So yeah, you can get them up more quickly.
And then you don't have the reinforcement either when he's resting, or you can still get the reinforcement from the second.
Have reinforcement.
So that reinforcement would be like...
If you have the Merc in your party, you can't use the same Merc as your reinforcement.
Right.
It has to be a different Merc.
Yeah, so your other Merc is still alive.
So no triple Bavarian.
What we found in playtesting is that, like, you know, having to worry about resing your Merc. So imagine you're in a boss fight, and the boss is one-shotting your Merc, and every 30 seconds you got to run over.
It gets annoying. It gets annoying.
Up on their after about, I think, 45 seconds.
Okay, but you can basically speed up the process if you choose.
Yes, if you can.
Okay, nice. And the reinforcement will work either way, even when he's dead, basically. Okay, yeah, that's pretty cool. This is a question maybe a bit more detailed for like necromancers or druids. They have a lot of these companion tags and minion tags, and also buffs. It goes a bit. Also, can the mercenary become a like DPS character? Like, would these tags sound?
The mercenary is not a minion.
Okay, not a minion, not a companion. So those added damage buffs or something. Okay. I mean that's cool. That's cool. Okay. One last question about the rapport system. Like when you're in a party, like can you still like farm the rapport? Because you mentioned there's some maybe events like all across Sanctuary where you can get the rapport of the mercenary up. Okay, in solo I get that. But what happens if I'm with my buddy and we don't have the mercenary? Does he still get rapport if we do these events, or?
Maybe do.
Yeah, it's a scaled rate. So if he's Merc that you've acquired and you're adventuring with, that's the highest XP gain you get towards rapport. But if you're just using a reinforcement, it's scaled a little bit. So that's...
Oh, you can still get XP like that. Like you don't have to choose him, but the reinforcement still gives it XP forever. All right, that's cool. That's a very nice system. Okay. Well, then let's talk next about the endgame activities. You announced like there's basically 2 new endgame activities, the Citadel and the Undercity.
Yes.
And I was just wondering, like, about the difficulty level. Maybe we can start with the Citadel. Like, is this intended to be, I mean, it sounded like difficult, but also like this 2-player party minimum or better for more players. Is this something you do, like, once you are level 100? Or is it like the pit? Or can you do it earlier if you choose to? Or what is the difficulty scaling when it begins?
So the Dark Citadel opens with Torment 1, which is gated behind clearing levels of the pit. So I think right now you have to clear pit 15 or 20 in order to unlock Torment 1. And once you unlock Torment 1, you then have access to the Dark Citadel. We do a lot to kind of help you along. So even when you finish like the story of X1, there's additional quest lines to help you, get your build to where it needs to be in order to unlock Torment. And the pit is your mechanism for testing your build against those higher difficulty levels. But the idea is that once you've hit Torment level, you've optimized your build enough to be good enough.
So that's like a target level of 100, like when you unlock Torment 1, around that?
Well, there's some changes coming to level progression.
Okay, cool.
We're going to go into a lot more detail next week on our live stream.
Oh yeah, the Campfire.
But expect that whole system is going to be a lot different from what you're used to. It was very important to us to like refresh and change the meta so that people felt like they were playing almost a whole new game. And so like all of level progression and Paragon progression is completely new and updated. And we can't wait for you guys to get your hands on it.
Oh, that's going to be amazing.
And difficulty system. So for, more veteran players like yourself, we wanted to be able to give you even greater challenges. But we also wanted to smooth out the play experience for those that might be new to the game. So.
Okay. And then is there like different levels of the Citadel as well? Like you mentioned, okay, we started like around Torment 1 level, like it's already like pretty hard. I think it was like changing rewards every week with the cosmetics. is there also going to be like, I don't know, difficulty 1, 2, 3, 4 in there, or how would that work?
Everything's tied back to the base difficulty system, so you can keep going up in Tormented difficulty levels, and if you want a greater challenge. But we don't have like a separate difficulty system that sits on top Dark Citadel.
Okay, so you could do like, let's call it like Torment 1, you can do the Citadel, Torment 2, you can do the Citadel, and so on.
Exactly.
Okay. Oh, that's really cool. So it's going to get really challenging. And then the rewards would also, cause I know you get like the transmogs, and it's really cool that you guys are adding something that you like get these transmogs, but you only get them when you actually complete this boss.
Stand in town and talk your transmogs that nobody else is able to get.
It's actually all over the game. One of the things that was really important to us was, the shop isn't your only way to get really cool transmogs.
Yeah. It's like more meaningful, you pay for this, like you actually killed or managed to beat like this boss, and this is like your reward.
There's a boss in the game that when you beat him, you actually steal his helmet and you get to actually wear it on your character, which is cool. So you'll find custom transmogs in the Merc system, you'll find them in the campaign, and you'll find them in Dark Citadel. So there's all different ways you can engage with the game and try to unlock all this content. One of the examples I like to use is, you know about our cat mounts, right? So there's 13 unique cat mount skins that can be acquired in the game. And on top
right now we only have 1.
And on top of that, you can get cat armors that you can see. So we have like jaguars and panthers and lions and tigers and all that kind of stuff. The armors are pretty special as well. And again, you're going to find the premium versions of those things in the shop, but a lot of the base content you will get just by playing the game.
Nice. And then the higher the difficulty, the more rewards or the different the rewards will be in the Citadel.
Yes, in the Citadel. You scale your rewards by your difficulty tier, and also every week the rewards refresh, so there's always a reason to go back and play again.
Cool. And these difficulties in there, like they mainly change like the way the health and the damage works of the monsters, or are they also gonna like add more of these mechanics that you mentioned, where you have to solve a puzzle or you have to reflect something?
It doesn't change the mechanics. It changes, like you said, the monster resistance, damage output, stuff like that, which is consistent across the whole game. So when you upgrade in difficulty, the whole game is affected by that change. But there's no changes in the mechanics, because one of the things we learned about this experience is once you understand the mechanics, you can push through much faster, and you can also carry other groups. So if you're like, hey, I'll put in my party finder, I'm carrier, so people that are new or haven't tried it yet will join you, and you can kind of teach them how to play through it and get through it. But it takes multiple hours to complete the Dark Citadel. You can actually, there's 3 wings, and you can save your progress after each wing, so you don't need to do it.
You get like checkpoints, basically.
Exactly.
Nice.
So there's a lot of really cool stuff in there.
Wow, that sounds amazing. Okay, cool. I'm looking forward to that.
I don't think we got a chance to talk about the Undercity.
Yeah, that will be the next one. Okay, and Undercity, because I think in the blog post that was published, it said something like, this is also a perfect way basically to level towards the end game. So this is like a little bit earlier than you could do this a little bit earlier than 100 already.
Cursed Undercity unlocks I think 15 or 20.
Wow. Okay, so you can basically do this like right from when you start the character.
Yeah, and we want we even unlock Nightmare Dungeons and Hell Tides and Whispers are now started from the beginning of the campaign. So you can basically choose whatever is most fun for you is what you can engage with and level up. For me, I like to bounce around different things. So one day I might do the Cursed Undercity. The other day I might do a Helltide. One of the cool things about Cursed Undercity is that it's timed. So you have a timer that's ticking down.
So like similar as the pit, timer-wise.
And if you run out of time, you get kicked out of the dungeon. You have to try again. By killing elites with specific enemies, then you can earn time back. So there's pressure to push forward, use your mobility skills, get to those time savers. And another thing that our community, who we've given private access to, loved about it is you could scale the rewards and the difficulty in there. There are these things called tributes, and you apply a tribute before you go in. And there might be difficulty aspects that get added to it, chance for greater rewards, or you keep it simple. And you get the standard reward. So the player gets to choose how much challenge they want within that context.
Wow, that's going to be so cool. Level 15, that sounds pretty early for this, and nice. And it scales then all the way up as well, right? Like probably the same rules that apply to the Dark Citadel. You can do it on the different torment levels, and you can base your rewards on that.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's really cool. For endgame activities, I think it was also said that you wanted to explore more of the principle of the mind cages that you are using in the Hell Ties as well. Is like there a chance like this is coming for other endgame systems or other parts of the open world as well?
Yes, but I'm gonna make you wait until next week when we do our systems live stream. Because if we start talking about details, but we go on for hours.
Okay, yeah.
So like next week we're doing a live stream. We're going to get into a lot more of that itemization and power and difficulty and leveling, all that stuff.
Okay, that sounds cool. And for the Undercity, the Dark Citadel is basically like 2 players minimum, right? But the Undercity you can do alone, and you can also do it in group if you want.
Correct.
Okay, that's and then maybe some quality of life questions that I get asked a lot. So with Spiritborn coming out, obviously we get a new class. Is there like a way we can get like a couple more character slots to get Spiritborn? And also,
I believe it's 2 more character slots.
2. Yes.
I'm pretty sure it's 2. It's at least 1.
Okay, that's really good.
I have to double check. But yeah, I'm fairly certain it's 2.
And I know this get asked a lot as well because like the new items come in and also they fill the stash even more.
Yes.
So is there also a chance for like 1 stash there or something?
Without going into too much detail, we've added an extra tab to make that easier.
Okay. There's all the detail I need.
Items that belong in that tab, which I'm not going to talk about today.
I saw it in the screenshot. There was 4 inventory slots now. You know, we have like the base inventory and then we have the consumables and the quest items. And there was 4 now.
Yep.
Okay. That's good. It had like a key icon in this screen.
Yeah, and next week we're going to go into detail on exactly what that is.
Oh, that's going to be amazing. Yeah, okay. Yeah, I mean, because you also need the way to enter the Undercity, you enter the Citadel probably with keys, and then you have the Nightmare keys and the Infernal One. So
we're not done announcing things.
Yeah. Keep building the hype. I like it a lot. Oh yeah, I guess the next question was also for quality of life, going a bit into that. Like we have all these like consumable boss materials, and they all have these different stack sizes. Like the instances, they have like 20. The boss materials, they stack to 50. The elixir stack to 99, and now the new scrolls, they stack to 999. So I guess this is also going to be a bit more streamlined or transferred into maybe some of these inventories.
Yeah, absolutely. And again, we'll go into details next week on our live stream. But I think all of the stuff we built is based on what the fans in our community has been telling us they want and need. So quality of life improvements are really important to us. Like as any live service title will tell you, giving the community what they want and need and massaging out their frustration points is really important for us.
Okay, yeah, that's super cool. And then also quality of life. We have this party finder now. It's fantastic. How do you envision like processes there? With like, we have these like boss rotations when we do more bosses, we have the different activities we can filter. But now what happens a lot in my community, and I think general in the community, people are looking for, I don't know, I have 2 sets to do Uber Duriel or something. And then I need like 8 people or 3 other people to do 8 runs together. Is there going to be like some filters for this kind of stuff as well? I know you have like chatty functions and like different parties.
It's all like tag based. And so just last week we met with a bunch of our community members in Irvine, and we said, like, what would you refer to this as a community? How would you call this? In what language would you refer to this? And by doing that, we built this whole character tag system for exactly the things you described. Like, hey, I'm doing this, and I'm looking for this, and I'm looking for players that are like this. There's even like a way to sort of establish that like you're like a noob and you want to be carried, or hey, I'm an experienced player and I want to carry others, or I only want someone who's just as powerful as I am. And all that stuff is like built into the tag system. Another cool thing about Party Finder is it's not exclusive to Dark Citadel. So for example, if you were going to do a Nightmare dungeon and you click on that dungeon, there's a Party Finder link right there. You pop it up and immediately it'll say like, hey, do you want to join a party or create a party specific to that activity that you clicked on?
Yeah, I remember that from Diablo Immortal, actually. Like, you click on this dungeon and you get the screen, and that was perfect. So that's super cool. This stuff is coming. I also saw, like, you added more clan features already. Is there, like, any more plans on... I know in Diablo Immortal, I played it quite a lot when it came out. There's, like, a lot of focus on like, the clans as well. You can do, like, your clan raids together. Maybe there's even, like, a ranking or a leaderboard. Is any of this,
like... We don't currently have anything to announce there, but as Rex said, a lot of what we put onto our, like, roadmap is dependent on what the community is talking to us about. So
I mean, you already added like at least like an offline timer, so I can, because I manage a clan and it's like it was kind of difficult to see like, okay, which members are active, which are inactive. So any quality of life that helps a bit more with that.
Good to know. But
okay,
please keep giving us feedback.
Nice. And I mean, it goes also in a similar direction, like with all the social stuff. And right now, people, they really do go outside of the game to trade items with each other. How do you envision like the trading process in Vessel of Hatred? I know we have these like in-game trade chats, but it's like very difficult there because it doesn't really filter anything. Is there like any plan for like some upgrade to trade itself, or is it like the intent, like we use like third-party websites for this? There's like Tradery and Discords or Sanctuary Discords.
We wouldn't be against anything that makes it easier for you to get through that process, right? But largely it's built on community response. So, you know, if the community wants us to emphasize trading and has a lot of complaints about trading, wants to see it work a different way, we'll take that into account as we build out our roadmap and decide on what we're working on next. But I think right now we're pretty happy that users can, through a variety of mechanisms, engage in that feature set.
Okay, cool. The next one is one of the most requested one in terms of quality of life. And
what he's gonna say.
I mean, you said like you're gonna be like, are you already working on this? Basically doing Campfire Chat. It's like a way to save builds, an armory, a loadout system.
I think I said it at BlizzCon. I said it was coming.
It's coming. So is it coming for Vessel of Hatred?
It is not a question of if, it's just a question of when. So, you know, we know that the community is really looking for this feature, and we hope that it's something that we can support. We have nothing to announce today.
But we've met with our community and we know what they want.
Yes.
And that was the most important step, is really understanding what it needs to be,
Yes.
Instead of what we think it might be from the community. And then once we have that information, we can build a feature that everyone will love. So yeah, it's
But Vessel of Hatred would be kind of the perfect starting point with that.
The perfect vessel for it.
Okay.
But yes, I'm not going to prove Tiffany a liar because she already brought it up. So.
I did say it on stage.
There's one. It's like a live game problem right now. I don't know if I can ask that as well. There's like these. You added the reset function to the bosses, the Uber bosses, the Torment bosses, and. Are there any plans like maybe like adding a vendor in the dungeon room or something? Because there's a lot of players like you kill the boss over and over again, and I think there's like a limitation on how many items that they are dropping in a certain area. And it happened to me and to other people as well, where they actually find an Uber unique, a mythic unique, and it drops like falls off the floor and it's gone because there's too much loot on the ground and it can't generate this new loot. I've seen this a lot.
Where the loot disappears?
Yes.
I actually saw that on Reddit this morning.
Yeah, it happens a lot. Like if you kill it, I think more than 5 or 6 times without like going to town because it's like 2 loading screens. You go to teleport to town, then you salvage, and you go back, and this is the whole thing.
I think it's really good feedback. We don't have anything to announce right now, or not any plans.
Okay.
But in the Dark Citadel, there is a vendor that is there. So I think
these checkpoints that you mentioned, like.
Yeah, each time you finish a wing, that saves your progress. So you can leave and go do other stuff and come back and pick up from where you left.
But there's also a little, there's a vendor city.
There's a vendor in the Dark Citadel. There's a vendor in the Mark 10. So
okay.
It's not outside the realm of
So in the new activities, you already have this, then maybe...
It's not outside the realm of possibility, but the feedback is very good.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I mean, I think that was about 20 minutes. Thank you so much for your time.
If you like this video, make sure to subscribe, leave a like or a comment. I'm also live on Twitch almost every day, so come and say hi.